Hey, welcome to the Scoop Postgame Show. I am your host, Kevin Noon. Let me mute this other channel for now. Ohio State, a 54-7 winner over Indiana. CJ Stroud, 21-28, 266, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Kyle McCord, 5 of 6. Jack Miller, 2 of 3. Trevion Henderson rushes 9 carries, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mayan Williams, 8 carries, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. Tight end game when you sit there and you have Jeremy Ruckert with 5 receptions and a couple of touchdowns. So, yeah, as Julian Foreman just said in here, on to Penn State. And we saw Penn State today play a lot of overtimes, a lot of two-point conversions, all wasted. So if they need to use any of those two-point conversion plays against Ohio State, we've seen them all, and none of them worked. So we're waiting on Ryan Day and CJ Stroud to take the post-game room here at Indiana in the post-game room. You know, this is probably by far the best setup that I've had this season. I have a chair. I'm not sweating. This is a good setup. So again, we're waiting. So you're just here with me. What were your thoughts on the game? I'll try to get to your comments, but sometimes they sneak these guys in here pretty quick. So we'll do our best. As you can see, people are coming in and out of the room right now as we're getting ready for that. That's Tom Orr.
Hi.
That is Tom Orr joining us. So he's ponchoed up because it was a rainy day here.
It was.
And while we wait for everybody, your one quick thought.
You know how Indiana's thing is LEO, love each other? Ohio State's thing tonight was LND, leave no doubt. That was like, there was at the very beginning of the game, Ohio State goes right on the field, scores, Indiana answers, and it's like, oh, well, maybe this is going to be a game. And then the last, 50 minutes or so was just like, nope, just get stomped into a puddle. So that was about as thorough as that possibly could have been.
Yeah, I really don't think that there was any doubt left there. I mean, and I think that you sit there and you look at this game. Ohio State has a long drive. Indiana goes 75 yards over almost 7 minutes. That's almost the entirety of the first quarter. Then Ohio State lays a 30-burger on Indiana in the second quarter. And as Tom said, leave no doubt. There was no doubt at that point. They were rolling, a pretty vanilla third quarter until they scored with about 2 minutes left. And then it was just time to roll the backups, and now it's on to Penn State. But
it's on to Penn State, and I think you look at the rest of the Big Ten right now, and I think it's reasonable to wonder who in this league is going to score with Ohio State this year. You just saw Penn State score 18 points in 9 overtimes. Michigan has had put 20 on Rutgers. Michigan was kind of a little sluggish against Northwestern for half, and Northwestern got stomped by Nebraska, so they're not great. I don't know who in this league. Michigan State beat this Indiana team 20-15 last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was.
Right.
Who in this league can score with Ohio State? And I think the answer is no one.
Right. Well, and Indiana certainly was diminished without a couple of starting corners.
Sure.
I mean, they didn't have their starting quarterback with Michael Penix, but again, I think we really saw the difference between Ohio State and a team that, I think going into this season, everybody had this game circled as potentially one of the biggest games of the year, just based on 42-35 last season.
Yeah, well, I think when Tony Gerderman and I went through and picked, what are the toughest games on the schedule this year, I think this might have been number one for me, because it was the road game that looked like, of all the road games, it might be the team that was the best this year. Michigan has been better than we expected. Indiana has been worse than expected, and as you said, they were missing a couple guys tonight. But when you're losing 54-7, and it's only 54-7 because Ohio State eased off the gas halfway through the game, that's not something that 2 corners fixes. They were getting whooped on the line pretty consistently all night.
Right, exactly. So I pull up the stats here. Indiana had 128 yards of total offense. Let's remember 75 yards were on that first drive. 80 passing yards, 48 rushing yards. Indiana was 5 of 14 on third down. I believe they were 4 of 5 after that first drive. So, it all went downhill very, very quickly for them.
Yeah, and I think if you want to look at the most telling stats in there, the leading rusher in terms of number of carries for Ohio State was Evan Pryor, who had basically not played anything other than garbage time before tonight. I was a little surprised you didn't see more Mayan Williams. He had that first drive, and you didn't see a whole bunch of him after that. But with Marcus Crowley out, with Master Teague out, I would guess that was sort of a function of once the game's over, Ryan Day doesn't want to risk the health of one of his two healthy, top two kind of backs. So that's probably why that happened. But 11 carries for 48 yards for Evan Pryor is, if you had told me that before the game, I would have said, yeah, this is probably about what it looks like.
Two quick things on there before either Coach Day or CJ Stroud get here. I did see on the television broadcast at some point that Mayan Williams looked like he was maybe a little bit of discomfort after a play, so maybe something was there with that. And Evan Pryor's numbers would have been a lot better if not for a couple of holding calls that took a couple of big plays off the board.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense then with Mayan Williams. I didn't see that. Tre'Von Henderson. Just another game where he averages 9 yards a carry. Like that's just what he does. And it wasn't like he had an 80-yarder to skew that. It was just a bunch of just every time he got it, it was just 6, 7, 8. And then sometimes he had the 125-yarder, but 2 touchdowns, and it was just you watching that game, it was just like you felt like anytime they gave him the ball, however many touchdowns they wanted him to score, he could have scored tonight.
Absolutely. I'm looking at some defensive numbers as we wait. Ohio State recorded 5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss. They had a good opportunity to be able to get after the Indiana quarterbacks. We saw number 0, their change of pace guy, who was much more of a runner, even though we saw him throw a couple of darts out there. The turf monster got Indiana's quarterbacks a couple times. It was a wet night, but I think there was some running for your life too.
There was definitely some running for your life. It was slick on that turf all night. It was slick at the beginning of the game. I think I may have tweeted that out. It was just you're sliding your feet on the turf, and it was very slippery. And then it was just I don't know how much the rain translated on the TV screen, but it was just all night. It was just sometimes it rained a little harder, but most of the night it was just sort of misting.
Right.
Just this fine mist all night long. It just never stopped from beginning to the end of the game. So the grass was just, the turf was just always wet. And so it was kind of slick. So, seeing guys sliding around a little bit was not a huge surprise. And I think you saw Evan Pryor sliding around a little bit too.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
He's the little, the fun little sports car. That's not what you want in slippery conditions. You want the big F-150.
Right.
So, it kind of makes sense that he had some traction issues.
Right, so, really just a complete game. Going to get in before we start hearing, it's just Indiana. I mean, how many times can we hear that at this point based on what we saw out of Penn State? I mean, I think after this next week we're going to hear it was only Penn State. If Ohio State's able to replicate that success, when are they going to have that game that they're going to get respect for? So, we're going to have to kind of see.
I see a lot of people in the comments asking about the status of Julian Fleming, because I guess we didn't see Julian Fleming in the second half. Because, just thinking back, it was a lot of Harrison, a lot of Ekbuka. You saw Chris Booker. You saw some of the other guys. I don't know that I saw Julian Fleming tonight. Do you have any idea?
I didn't see him. I just don't know what goes into the rotation sometimes. Maybe a situation of, if he's still a little gimpy and playing on a wet track, you don't necessarily want to put him at risk. Maybe he's just not up as far on the depth chart as we would like to think. I mean, he certainly has missed some time along the way. So, I think it's something that we're just going to have to dig into and find a little bit more about it. I'm keeping an eye on the door. We still do not have the Ohio State quarterback or head coach, but that should be happening any minute now.
Yeah, and so many people were asked, saying he's hurt, and he was not on the availability report. He was not listed as injured on the availability report, but that's that may have been something that happened at game time. That may have been something later. The people wondering why we're not doing interviews, it's because we're waiting for people to show up.
Right. Tim saying interviews, please. I cannot make the interviews happen quicker. We're just waiting until they get here, and as soon as that happens, I will flip the camera around, and hopefully my shot is set, and nobody walks in front of it, and we will go. So, Jeffrey Russell, not a fan of the Mets, but it's got a naughty word in it, so I can't post that on the screen. But, yeah. And my team is probably finishing their season as we speak right now. The Dodgers, I saw down 4-2 to Atlanta. So, that certainly is problematic. But, Ohio State with a big win in terms of football. It's football season, and here comes Ryan Day.
Folks, we'll open it up for questions. We'll just start right over here with Clay Hall with SYX on the left.
Congratulations, Coach. You got a Heisman candidate
quarterback, a running back who's averaging 9 yards a carry. Defense gives up one score and then shuts it down. But do you still in your mind say, all right, we beat Minnesota, Rutgers, Maryland, Indiana. Is there room left to take down a heavyweight now next week or beyond?
Well, I just think it's always been about us, and that's what we have to focus on. And we know, as we headed into this game, we kind of figured that we had no record. We were 0-0, and then this is the first win in the second half of the season, and that's the way we're looking at it. But I thought we came out and played well. We actually didn't expect any rain, and we got some rain, and I thought we handled that well. And like you said, after the first drive, I thought the defense played well. I know that they, are down some guys on offense, but still, I thought we ran around and played, and we got a bigger challenge, like you said, here next week.
Did Zach Harrison step up?
Yeah, a bunch of guys did, and it was great to see those guys running around. It looked like they were having fun out there, and that's good, and that's part of the energy and the confidence that we want.
Right next door, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Right, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you guys have scored 19 straight touchdowns on your possessions, other than the kneel down against Maryland. To have that kind of offensive efficiency, I mean, have you ever experienced anything like that? What can you say about that?
It's quite it's something, I guess, but it's just a matter of going out there every single day and practice and trying to execute at a high level and being really hard on ourselves. Like our standard is hard. Like if we don't complete a pass or we miss a protection or something like that, we're hard on ourselves, and that's what you want. And these guys, they like football. And so we know that we got to get back there and get our rest, and we got to get right back on this film here with Penn State because they have a very, very good defense, and this is going to be the biggest challenge of the year coming up. So it's good. We do have some confidence, and we are playing at a high level, but that's not going to mean anything if we don't do it again next week.
Left center, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
What happened with Trevion on the first series of the game and then not playing in the second half, kind of as you had a couple weeks ago, just precaution?
Yes. Yeah. That's what it was. And again, it is a great problem to have, but at the same time, these guys practice all week and they put a lot of work in, and so for he and Chris and Garrett, to take those guys out to not play, that's hard, because these guys want to play, but at the same time, as the head coach, for me to put them in there and see something ever happen to them, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So have to make that tough decision, and they're competitive. They all want to get back in there, so that's how it goes.
What happened on the first?
He's all good. Yeah, he's all good.
The way he's kind of playing through contact right now, it seems like he's it's something he's very comfortable doing, especially considering not playing at all last year.
I think he's running hard. I think he's playing on contact, like you said. And for a freshman to do that, that's good. And the number one thing is he's taking care of the football, and that's what has to continue. If we're going to make a run at this thing, we got to take care of the football, and we cannot turn the ball over. And that's something we just cannot forget about. And he and Mayan and even Evan, I was impressed with the way Evan ran down the stretch, and that's good. We're going to need some of the depth there. But across the board, I think the depth has been, we are starting to see that. You're starting to see a bunch of guys get on the field, and that's what we're looking for.
Second row right, Patrick Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, you guys have a few times this year given up touchdowns, and it looks like you've made defensive adjustments. I know you're not always in that conversation during the game, but to see your guys come out today and shut Indiana down after giving up that first drive, and the way that you've made adjustments since you've made some changes, just speak on that and how that's improved throughout the year.
Yeah, that's a tribute to the guys on defense, Matt and Kerry and Larry, Al, all the guys over there, trying to identify how they're being attacked and then coming up with the answers. And that's what it comes down to as a coach. You want to have answers when your guys come off the field. What happened? And then here's how we're going to get it fixed in all three phases. And I think that got done here tonight.
Over here to the right, Bill Landis, The Athletic.
Ryan, the throw from CJ in the first half where he kind of put it between two defenders there to Jackson. I don't know how many young quarterbacks would attempt that throw over the middle of the field, that kind of coverage. Like, what does his willingness and comfortability working the middle of the field do for you guys offensively? Well,
it starts with the protection, and it starts with the trust in the guys to catch it. But he does see the field, and that's one of his strengths. He's got a lot of confidence right now, and that's a good thing. But we can't ride the roller coaster either. We got to stay on it. But he made some nice throws tonight.
Right next door, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you guys had a lot of balance, and because of the way the defense was playing, a lot of times with the young quarterback, you guys were starting at midway point of the field.
Yeah.
That there some shades of that today. When your defense is
Yeah.
playing that way and giving you that type of field position, what does that do?
Yeah, like you said, that to me is where you just play with the ultimate confidence. When you're getting the ball back, like you said, at midfield like that, that's kind of the way it felt in 19, and that's the way it felt again tonight. And you feel it on the sideline. There's just so much confidence, and then the minute we get the ball back, we feel like we're going to score, and you get a 3-and-out or you get a turnover, and it steamrolls, and that's a great feeling as a coach, and we can get those stops like that. It makes a huge difference to the whole team.
You've always been an aggressive play caller, but when that's rolling like that, can you kind of open up the playbook a little bit?
Well, I think just across the board we're aggressive. You saw us run the ball some early on, and we were aggressive. We're always aggressive throwing the football, but we also ran the ball, and I thought the offensive line moved the line of scrimmage, and I thought the defensive line stopped the run, and that's anytime we go play in these conference games, it's the first thing we have to do.
Right next door, Austin Ward, Letterman Row.
Ryan, even before the game, it seemed like the guys looked confident, maybe looser than just compared to early in the year. I don't know, have you noticed that, or how would you describe the mood of this team now?
I just think it's a different team. I think when you practice well, then you have confidence because you've already done it. Now you have to go do it on the field. That only gives you a chance, but it does allow you that confidence to know that, first off, the guy next to me has done it before. I've seen him do it. We played in 6-7 games now together, and I've seen what he can do. That's big. And I think the defense has confidence in the offense. The offense is getting a lot of confidence in the defense now. We feel like we're playing pretty good on special teams, and when you feel like that, when you're not on your own, you have a bunch of guys with you. That's when you have that confidence, and I think that's probably what you felt there. When early on, a lot of those guys had never really played before. They weren't getting what a bunch of those guys got in the second half. We were coaching them really hard in the second half, our offense, our defense, because we know that that's going to pay dividends down the road. We missed that last year, and because of that, it was bumpy early on, and we didn't have a lot of confidence. Everyone kind of felt like they were out there on an island by themselves, but we're building on it. We're still not there. We got a big one next week, and we got to get back and get ready for these guys.
Behind Bill on the right, Jacob Benji, the Lantern.
Hey Ryan, just on the offense, Jeremy Ruckert comes out, has 4 or 5 catches, a couple touchdowns. We know what the wide receivers can do, but with the tight ends and Jeremy Ruckert, just what did you assess from Ruckert's game today?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have so many weapons, and that's a great thing to have. But at the same time, guys have to be unselfish, and that's part of the game. He's done a lot of work. He's done a lot of the dirty work, blocking inside, and there's times where the ball hasn't come his way. But when you stay positive and you stay at it, things work out, and that's playing team football. And, it's hard because when you play in these games, the last 3 games, they haven't played 4 quarters. And so then maybe they don't get them as many touches. And that's part of sacrificing. We talked about this week about what are you willing to sacrifice to be great and make this run. And sometimes it means sacrificing touches. But eventually it's going to come back to you, and it did for Jeremy tonight.
We got time for one more, so I got Jeremy Ruckert and CJ ready to go. Rob Aller, the Dispatch.
Ryan, official Robbins said that CJ throws the best ball he's ever seen, which was pretty high praise considering who you've had here. Do you agree with that assessment, and are you amazed yourself at what he's doing, putting it in tight windows, being so young?
Again, still 7 games in, 6 games for him, so we don't want to ride the roller coaster on this thing, he's going to stay humble on this thing. We're going to stay humble on it and just keep working at it, take one game at a time. But certainly you see those things out there, and it excites you, and it's fun. But it's everybody. It takes, when something doesn't go well, it's like, what went wrong? Well, it's kind of a little bit of everything. When things go well, it's a little bit of everything as well. But certainly he does have the talent to make those throws, and if he continues to prepare the way he is and show toughness, then, we'll have a chance here as we make a run.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.
And, 5 straight games, 500 yards, and why Jeremy today? 5 catches, 2 touchdowns. They didn't pay the flight bill over here, but go right ahead.
No, I just think my confidence is in God. I mean, He's blessed me with a talent, and I think I'm just stepping into that role of being not just a leader of this football team, but a leader of God. So, I mean, definitely I'm feeling more comfortable just being out there, and more so that my teammates are a huge help. Like Ruck, he's a great tight end. He great body language, great routes, and today was his day to ball. So I'm happy for him.
Jeremy, could you comment on your evening?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun. You know, it's good. Everybody sees the stat sheet, but I mean, we had a great week of practice. I feel like more so now than ever, we've come together as a team and just relying on everybody and every play, whether it's the offensive line, us and tight ends, just in the run game or in the pass game. And like I've always said since I've been here, you know, some days it's in the run game, some days it's in the pass game, whatever it is. Just being able to make the plays when your name's called is just like the culture here, and it was just, today was our day, I guess.
Right here at Austin Ward. Jeremy, when you think back to the first half of the season for you, I know, like you just said, we focus on the catches and all that. How would you felt like you played in that first half, and how are you feeling heading in after tonight?
I feel like we've been steady through it, putting our head down and working every week. Some days the game plan is different than the others, and you know, I think, like I said before, just not forcing anything and just playing free. The ball's going to come your way. So I think that the biggest step this week we took was just not worrying about anything, just doing everything we can to help the team win and relying on each other. And I think that's the biggest thing going forward is just being able to rely on each other and play after play, just knowing that whoever the play is going to go to, we know we have confidence they're going to make the play, and CJ's going to throw it to us. And I feel like we're in sync right now.
To the left, Bill.
CJ, second possession, you first play of the drive, you threw to Jackson, deep over the middle, you get 3 guys in coverage. What gives you the confidence to make that throw? And do you feel like at this point, confidence in the receivers and protection, that the offense could do anything it wants?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that look, that was kind of what we practiced, and I mean, that's just kudos to a great preparation by not only me and Jackson, but our O-line, our other receivers getting open. So I mean, when you see things like that, I just think we're hitting and we have a momentum. We're just rolling. So that's just a confidence thing. I feel like me and him are both confident in each other. He's confident that I'm gonna throw the ball to the right spot, and I'm confident he's gonna make the play and do create separation in the route. So I mean, that's kind of just that play. But I mean, everybody does a great job. If the O-line doesn't block on that, then that doesn't happen. So I mean, kudos. They had a great game. I only got touched, I think, like once. And so we just got to give praise to them, and then our backs are toting it. So all these things are hitting, and we just got a momentum rolling, which I think is helping.
Over here, Bill Landis at The Athletic.
CJ, Coach Day a couple times now has remarked on how well he thinks you see the field, just being able to attack everything, including the middle of the field. How long has that been a strength of yours, do you think, and how has that developed here over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, we all do a great job. I mean, just meeting. I come in earlier the week. I just think the preparation that we do beforehand is superb, and I think just meeting with Coach Keenan Bailey, he gets me right. Coach Corey Dennis, Coach Fitch. I mean, they're all great coaches, and they help me a lot. And just breaking down film little by little. I literally watch everything. I watch things from 2017 that other team did just to be out there and just know kind of what I'm doing. I mean, we always say if you can know what you're doing, you're not anticipating, you're playing fast. So the more you can play fast and just go out there and play ball, the better.
You were watching 17 Indiana film?
Yeah.
They talked about with you just not riding that roller coaster, and your roller coaster's really been kind of hyperbolic these first 7 weeks. I guess how you look back on it now, how do you evaluate how these first 7 weeks have gone, how have you grown as a quarterback, and how you kind of handled some things just mentally?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like our momentum is rolling as a team, not just me. I mean, it's not about me at all. I mean, this is the most team sport ever. So, I mean, without these guys, especially my teammates, like I was kind of down in the dumps going into the early of the season. And my teammates just lift me up every day. I always tell, like, Jeremy, before every drive, he tells me, just do you. That's what got you here. So, I mean, just keep doing you. And I appreciate just being around great people. Like, we have great people in the building like Roy Hall who come in there and they give us just straight wisdom and talk about God and talk about Jesus Christ. And those are just things that, like, help me keep going. You know what I mean? So that's a big part of I think us going like this, not only myself, but as a team, us elevating, is just the many great people that we have in our building.
Where you're kind of improving every single week? It was at one point this year where you're going, basically having to convince people that you're a great player.
I mean, I don't. At the end of the day, I'm focused. If it ain't God, my family, or my teammates, I can really care less what people got to say. And of course, I appreciate Buckeye Nation, and they're awesome. But they are some of them are really critical. But I like that. I mean, that comes with the job. You got to know that it comes with it. So I'm blessed to even be at this university. I'm blessed to even rep Ohio State. So with all that stuff coming, I mean, I just lean on God, lean on my teammates, and lean on my family, and everything goes well, I feel.
We'll do 2 more just because we'll get some more players. Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
CJ, Trevion wasn't in the backfield with you much for that first series. He came out, he came back in. What do you think of the way he ran after that point, coming back in?
Yeah, Trey did a great job. Mine, when he came in, his number was called, and like Ruck just said, I mean, when your number's called, you're expected to make the play at this place. So that's kind of our culture, and I feel like mine did a great job while he was in. When Evan was in, he did a great job, and of course Trey, he had a great game as well. So when you have three great backs like that, and then when we get Teague back, and I feel bad for Crow, but whenever he comes back, I mean, we have great backs. So that kind of just makes our job kind of easier. And then with our O-line and tight ends blocking like the way they do, I mean, that just makes the gaps even bigger, and we just get rolling.
We'll wrap it up. One last question, Colin Gay.
CJ, you mentioned we've talked about confidence over and over, and I'm curious, is that something that you thought would carry over from the off week, especially with the performances that you had against Rutgers, against Maryland? I mean, were you confident that those same numbers would come up even after the week off?
I mean, no, I come in with a clean slate. I mean, whatever happened in the previous week, you have to throw it away, because if you bank on that, then, I mean, I feel like you're just putting yourself and you're just riding a roller coaster. So, I mean, I try to do my best to just focus one game, 1 week at a time, and watch the film and just really hone on that film, whatever I'm watching. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, you build a rhythm, you build a momentum, and I feel like our coaches, Coach Day did a great job this week. We had some hard practices, like, in our bye week. It wasn't like just go home and relax. It was like, okay, Tuesday and Wednesday we're going to pound, and we're really going to try to keep our momentum, which I think is really smart. So I just think our team, we have a great mindset of just letting stuff go, like even if it's good or bad. And me and Ruck were actually talking about that on the field of like just trying to stay positive. You know, like the play where I scrambled and hit him, I was like, damn, I wanted that one. But Ruck was like, ready to stay positive. We'll get it the next time. And then you see we scored the next play. So just being around positive people, and that just kind of keeps the momentum and rhythm going.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And we'll do the rest over by our locker room.
Thank
Well, there you have it. That is the end of the live post-game interviews. We're going to jump out and go get the rest of these interviews. We're going to get Court Williams. So hold on. We're going to get one more. Hopefully people haven't jumped off.
Letterman row.
Well, it seems like your last couple of games starting to feel some more of that, and then probably feeling healthier. How is this feeling for you, and you sense that upward trajectory right now?
Oh, yeah, I've been feeling great. Body feels great. I'm just glad I'm able to help to contribute to the team. You know what I'm saying? We've been playing real well. We just got to keep it rolling.
I know it's been a little bit of a long road to get back. So how has it felt to be out there making plays and contributing again?
That's nothing but a blessing, man. All glory to the man above. Thank my family, my coaches, my teammates. I couldn't have done it without them. It's been great.
Over here to the left, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Court, after the first touchdown drive in Indiana, you guys completely shut them down. What were the adjustments that you guys made to be able to do that?
That's just what we do. I mean, if something happens that we don't like, we get to the sideline and just make some adjustments. It was just sloppy mistakes. I mean, it was on us. So we just got to be disciplined, play our rules, and that's what we did. And that's how that happened.
Over here to the left also, Court Colin Gay from Rivals.
Court, there's a lot of talk around Ohio State, just being confident, you guys being confident. I'm curious about what that looks like for you guys defensively. What does momentum cause you guys to do? Do you guys feed off the energy that the offense is giving you? What does confidence look like for you guys as a defense?
I mean, as a defense, really, I mean, confidence just stems from preparation. I mean, if we feel like we're prepared, then we're able to play fast and play with a chip on our shoulder. So it's all about preparing. If we feel like we're prepared, we'll be able to play fast and run to the ball, and that's what we do.
Over here, second row right, Patrick Murphy, 24/7.
Court, you just mentioned adjustments. It seems like each week you guys have been able to do that, especially since that loss. What are the coaches like on the sidelines? What's the information that they give you that allows you to adjust like you did tonight for the first drive?
Yeah, I mean, if we don't like something, I mean, if they give us a different look that we're not used to seeing, then we just go back to playing our rules. I mean, our defense is made on rules and just playing smart and being disciplined. So if we do that and make the adjustments like that we do after the offense does something that we don't like, then we make those adjustments based on our rules.
Has having Matt Barnes down on the sideline helped with that? I know he's kind of taken over some of the play calling. Has that changed anything with being able to make those adjustments down there?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's Coach Barnes, Coach Rose, Coach Combs. I mean, they're all tied in together. Coach Barnes is usually the one that's on the board giving us the adjustments. But, yeah, it's been great that he's on the field and he's able to tell us, what we're supposed to do.
Deep center field, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman row.
Court, a lot of teammates talked about how
much you've been progressing in the preseason, do you feel like you're finally starting to get there now, that you're more comfortable in what you're doing and the defense is different, but do you feel like you individually, that you just feel like you're there now?
I mean, honestly, I feel like there's still a lot to improve on. You know, I'm going to lean on my teammates, lean on my coaches, you know, listen to them and what they feel like I need to improve on. It's just about getting better as a team. And for myself, it's just about taking it day by day.
Do you feel like, in hindsight now, that you still weren't fully healthy in the preseason when you were practicing and going through everything, getting compliments, but you feel like you weren't fully healthy then? Do you feel that like you're finally there now?
It's just about getting reps. I mean, as long as it's about getting reps during practice, I mean, I felt good, you know, since the beginning of fall. I just had to get those reps to get it rolling again, feel comfortable in the field. So that's all I needed.
Over to the left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
You see this defense every day in practice. How do you stop it?
Well, as long as we keep doing what we're doing, keep getting better, improving on the things that we need to improve on, it's going to be a problem. We're going to be a problem. Yeah, unstoppable.
Right next door, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Trevion Henderson has gotten a lot of attention for what he does kind of in the open field, but like tonight he had that screen pass was kind of pinballing off of people. Just what have you seen from him in practice as far as looking for contact or playing through contact and having that be part of his game?
I mean, he practices hard, he works hard, he takes it serious in the weight room, in the film room. I hear nothing but good things about him. I mean, he's going to be great, so I'm really looking forward to see what he does.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch. Did you have one? I'm not sure. No. Anybody else? Doug, anyone with a question? Back row left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Yeah, Court, I mean, you guys held Indiana to 128 yards tonight, and just to do that and be able to shut them down as consistently as you did, I mean, how big of a step forward do you think this is for the defense?
I think it's big. I mean, we just take it one game at a time, and we talk about stopping the run. That's the main job. And everything else will take care of itself. I mean, we got a big game next week. I'm glad we got the win, but we just got to keep rolling, keep getting better.
What do you feel like you guys are doing now that maybe you weren't doing in those first few games of the season that are allowing you to play at a much higher level?
We're communicating better as a defense. We're meeting more all together, not just individually. And we're just doing the little things right. And that's when you play against teams where talent equates, it's the little things that get you over the edge. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Court. Go ahead.
No, we're good. We're good.
Clay Hall, WSYX over to the left.
That's what I wanted to know.
Okay.
How did you make when the change was made and the shuffling of the staff, how did you guys in the back end come together?
I mean, it was really just about, like I said, doing the little things. I mean, the coaches, they can do, what they feel like is necessary, but all we do is follow and we listen to what they say. And I feel like since the beginning, we've just been getting better every week. You know what I'm saying? Doing the little things right, focusing on the little things. Yeah.
And final questions over here, Jack Emerson, the Lantern.
Corey, you guys had 14 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks. It felt like their quarterbacks were under pressure almost every play. What did you see from your front seven, and how much did that pressure help you in the back?
I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, when they get it done in the trenches, it just makes our job that much easier. I mean, it felt like just every play they were back there, and that just makes our job easier. So, we, like I keep saying, we keep improving. We're going to, watch out.
Great.
Watch out.
Court, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, folks. Now that is the end of interviews. So, at this point, we will have a Buckeye Weekly Live later on tonight, and you'll get to hear from Tom and Tony, and maybe I'll even get to chime in. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and once we know a little bit more, we'll let you know over at Buckeye Scoop and on social media, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching, and we will talk to you again here very soon.